It's really rainy and nasty out today, so I figured I would work in my craft area and make some things. I had previously purchased these small clothespins and this medium-sized one, and then this is the regular size clothespin. And what I'm going to do is paint them and use rub-ons on them so that I can make my own versions of, I'm getting out some examples for you to see, of ones like these. So this particular size was this one here, and they had put the days of the week on them, and then this one's a tiny one that was just like my door band-aid. A little tiny one that was painted all one color. And here's a tiny one with word on it. And then here's a medium one with a pattern done on it. And it's only one-sided. So I am using some of my paints with these different clothes pegs to make my own rather than spending the silly price that they seem to want for pre-made ones. And to make it easier for painting several at a time, I have hooked them onto this dowel. This dowel actually goes in the white rack I showed in a previous video. Well, I don't know if I've posted that video yet. I may have, I may not. So you might hear me talking about where I keep my distress paints and the rod that I removed. Well, this is the rod. It was supposed to be a ribbon organizer, but I have too much ribbon to use it. So I just kept this for whenever it would be handy, and that would be for holding these clothes pegs as I paint them. So I picked out this awesome color of kind of aqua teal. Let's see what it says it is. You know, it doesn't say. But this is Americana Decor Chalky Finish Deco Art Paint. I'm not going to be able to tilt it and show it to you, but there's kind of how it looks. Started up real good, and so I'm currently painting the clothes pegs. Just glop it on there and spread it around. Alright, well, I think I'm going to need more than one coat on this because one is kind of still showing the wood through the paint there. So I'm going to continue painting another coat and getting the sides, and I will be back when I'm done with that. Alright, here I'm back again. I've gotten these all painted. I used a piece of parchment paper in between the clip ends so that they didn't stick together as the paint was drying. After I finished painting them, I realized that it might have been a little easier to dismantle each of the clothes pegs to get up inside here, because it was really jacking up my paintbrush trying to get into that little groove, but they turned out alright. So the next step is to decide what you're going to use as your rub-on. Now, I don't have any small print days of the week type things like these ones were done. Let me grab one and show it to you again. Say that one says Sunday on it, and I don't have any rub-ons that are that tiny, nor do I have any words pre-made that are that tiny, except for some Tim Holtz. I think it was Tim Holtz or Seven Gypsies, but they didn't have any words on there that would look cute on the clothes pegs. So I have chosen this batch, and I could not tell you where it came from because I had to cut the top off to get it to fit in my folder that I keep my rub-ons in. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use 1 through 0, I think is what's going to come out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I'm going to do 1 through 9 because 0 is going to look really weird. So 1 through 9. Alright. So what you do is you got to get yourself something hard to be able to rub the rub-ons with. A lot of times they come with a popsicle stick like these, and I actually hate using these because they have a very strange edge you're trying to work with. So I just stuff those in a little cup over there to use for stirring paint. Speaking of paint, now that I have the lid back on, I can show you what it was. Ultra matte paint for home decor. So here's the brand, American Decor Chalky Finish from DecoArt, and I got that at Michael's. So let's see. Let's start with the number 1, and I think I'm going to get my stick just to hook it on there so it keeps it stable while I'm doing the rubbing. And then I'm going to actually use scissors to cut out a couple of these numbers I want to use, like so, because sometimes when you're going in there to do the rubbing, you rub a different section on accident and you've messed up that other one. You know how hard it is to try and do things when you got a band-aid in the way. Alright, so number 1, and I'm going to arrange these in a way that allow me to hook them on a board or something later. Now these are a little bit too big for the clothes peg. Let me zoom in so you can see. Oops, wrong way. And there you go. So you can see there's a slight overhang. Let me get this scooted over. There's a stamp in my way. Alright, there's a slight overhang here of the circle on each side. So I can either rub that around the edge, or I can scrape it off, whatever is necessary. But you will have to kind of hold it still. So you see as you rub it, it starts to turn white. That means that you've done that part. But sometimes it will peel up a little bit in an area that you haven't actually rubbed, and you have to be careful of that, because when you remove this protective film, you will end up pulling up the portion you actually didn't rub on, and it will mess it up for you. So go all the way around everywhere, just in case. And even in the areas that don't have print, there's a clear layer there. Alright, so now that we've done that, gently peel it up. You want to make sure it's staying where it belongs. And I've got a little bit sticking on the edge here where this curved part is. I'm just going to rub it along the side like that. Get it to stick on the edges. Alright, try this again. And there's number 1. So I'll just gently poke those parts down, and there we go. Number 1. Now if you see right here, I don't know how well you can tell, right along this edge here, there's a little bit that doesn't seem like it's quite stuck. So you can actually go back in with your tool and just kind of give it a little extra effort in those areas. I think what I'm going to do is coat these with some matte varnish maybe, or maybe some, I don't really want to do Mod Podge because it'll make this all shiny, and I kind of like this flat look it's doing. So I will think about that. Alright, on to number 2. Now I have a lot of rub-ons. I actually have gone on eBay and found some nice sellers who have some great lots of them. Okay, now what I'm doing here is putting the number 1 back next to it, so I can try and get these to line up approximately at the same height across the clothes pegs, so when they are hanging up on whatever I choose to mount them to, they will be uniform distance, not just all over the place. So the story behind the Dora Band-Aid. Every now and then you get a little, not really a hangnail, but where your skin's peeling up on your cuticle area. Well, I had that, and for some reason everything I was reaching for and grabbing kept catching on that, and it tore the skin a little bit, and I needed a Band-Aid, and the smallest Band-Aids we had were Dora Band-Aids, and my daughter does not like Dora anymore because she has grown up way past Dora. But a Band-Aid's a Band-Aid, so I'm going to use it if I need to. It's not like I'm needing to be worried about her friends seeing Mom wearing a goofy Dora Band-Aid. Alright, so there's another one. Get that little bit of extra around the edge there. And there we go. So I'm going to continue on with the rest of the numbers, and I will be back to show you how it looks. Alright, I'm back again. As you can see, I've got 1 through 9 taken care of, and they're all nicely added onto the peg there, and I went around the edge a little bit with the rubbing to get the circle to stay on there nice. And so now what I'm going to add to them to help keep those on there is a bit of Liquitex Clear Gesso. So let me get that. Grab a paintbrush. It isn't yucky. There's a good one. Alright. And I hate this gunky thing that, I don't know if you can hear that, but I have a storm coming. And there's some awesome thunder going on. I like lightning and thunder, and as long as it doesn't affect my power, I'm cool with that. Alright, so get a bit of this on here. Just kind of splat that on there. I'm going to do the whole side so it's got a uniform thing going on. Just kind of smooth it out a bit. And any milkiness that you see when you first apply it will go away because it dries clear. It's just to help make sure that that rub-on stays where it's supposed to be. So what you see in the background here is my, let me zoom out. This is some of the packing paper that I have accumulated. I was going through one of my last boxes for my dining room, some frou-frou doodads or whatever, teacups that I collect, needed to go into their case that I had finally uncrated while my mother was visiting. And I had all this extra paper, so I decided to keep some of the sheets that didn't have tears and holes in them and start using them as my drop paper, catching all my little bits of ink and color and whatever else happens to get on there. And then I could use them to collage into other things or make some book pages or something with them. There we go, and then it'll dry up and we'll be good for that. And this is always a good thing to do. Put a little bit into your container, and then if you don't use it all, you can always put it back where it came from. You've already got a brush that's dirty from using it. And of course this doesn't work if you've mixed other colors in it or you put it in a container that was dirty, so I don't like to waste. So I will even take paint and put it back in my tubes so that I don't have to put it on the paper, even though, you know, I'm doing the drop cloth idea. It's kind of nice to have the paint back where it belongs. So this is This little container is just something my husband had some drink mix for, oh, I don't know if it was protein powder or some kind of energy booster thing for when he goes to the gym. But I snatched that out of the recycle bin because it's a great little container to have on my desk here for using brush cleaning. Alright, so that's that, and there's my pegs ready to go and be added to whichever surface I want to put them on. And thanks for watching. Have a great night.